It's record show day. Chattanooga Record Show. Ringgold, Georgia. Chattanooga is that way. It's over there. Chili, cold. Had to stop at Buc-ee's to get a bag. I left my bag, and also I left hand moisturizer. Something I learned last time I was at a show. Hands get dry flipping through all the records. Sucks. Hand lotion, moisturizer, necessary. So I'm gonna finish up some coffee, and then I'm gonna go start digging. All right. So here's the bag that I got from Buc-ee's. Nice canvas bag. Got some hand lotion here. I'm gonna throw some of that on before I go to prevent. I think this is supposed to prevent. Anyway, it's gonna help. It's gonna help with the hands staying moist.
I've got actually the dog.
So we went down to Florida. I had all we did a storage came in with space there. So like, busting wax right there across the wall. Radioactive, Fort Lauderdale, grimy.
Going to Marietta, Atlanta tomorrow?
So she had a space suit on. Everyone kick out that.
It's a rock and roll weekend for me.
Last time I was up in Birmingham, just hanging out at the show and stuff. Gary Numan.
Was he there?
He wasn't there. I was looking for it. And I think you told me that you had just got rid of like 2 or 3 of them.
I actually have some today.
Oh, nice.
I don't know which one you're looking for. Which ones you're looking for? That's the. It'll be one of these 4 boxes.
Gotcha.
Here, but they'll be grouped together.
A buddy of mine went to go see him at Cruel World.
Yeah.
Last year, I think.
In Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I think that was this year.
Was it this year? Okay, yeah. But he came back and he was completely excited about it.
So I've seen him, I think 2 or 3 times in Nashville.
Okay.
And he played like a smaller club, but he brings his whole show, and it was. I always liked him, but then when I saw him live, now I love him. It's like if you see him live. So I've got Telecon, Pleasure Principle.
Yeah, I got that guy.
And then this was a newer press of the first record, which was Two-Way Army.
Okay.
But those, I think that. Oh, and then I've got his newest record, which is the one he's touring on, Intruder. Like if your friend saw him at Cruel World, that he was wearing like the stripes on his face and stuff like that on stage. So, and it's on the red. It was the red vinyl.
Sweet.
So it's those. That's what I've got for Gary Numan right now.
All right. Snagging them all, man. Well, except for the. Yep, I just got that one not too long ago.
That's a good record. It has the song Cars, but there's other great songs on that record.
Yeah, I've only got a couple spins on it so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's...
So the other one to look for, in my opinion, for whatever that's worth to you, is Replicas.
Replicas.
It's like a yellowish gold cover, and he's kind of just like staring out a window.
Okay.
That was the one that came out right after this one and before that one, and it's a outstanding record.
Sweet.
I
Cool.
don't have it today, but
All right, Gary. Hey, would you mind holding these?
yeah, no worries.
Thanks. Dig through some other stuff here.
Yeah, take your time.
Anything you're looking for?
I got a long list of things.
Okay.
Too long to name.
Yeah. I hear you. I feel your pain.
I do like that you have a lot of the Japanese pressings.
I started collecting in '69, so this is almost my 55th year of collecting.
Okay.
And by 1990 or so, when the records were starting to go out, I was just so sick of American records because in '81 they banned PCV.
What's that?
PVC,
Okay.
polyvinyl chloride.
Okay.
So the Japanese still put it in their records today.
Yeah.
It was banned in America as a carcinogen, at least in the manufacturing process, for big labels and things. There may be small labels that still use it. But long story short, they put a polymer in its place that doesn't wear well and is noisy. So after '81, if you're listening to an American record and you get to a soft, quiet spot, all you can hear is sss. And everybody's like, oh, the tape hiss. That's not tape hiss. That's bad vinyl. So I just got fed up with it. It was like you buy a German or a Japanese record where they still have PVC in them.
Yeah.
Get to the quiet part, all you hear is music. You don't hear, even if it's like silence for a second, you don't hear any static or anything else. And I thought, that's the way records ought to be made.
That's cool. I knew a little bit about that, but not as that much. So appreciate that.
The Japanese press them for 6 minutes. The Americans press them for 4.
Okay.
The stampers that they press them with, the recording industry, the RIAA says change them every 5,000 copies. The Americans wait to 10,000. So the last 5,000 in that run are already deteriorated, and if you're at the end of that 5-second 5,000 run, you've got shit record.
Yeah.
The Japanese, on the other hand, religiously change them at 5,000, which is what the RIAA says. They use original master tapes or a first-generation production copy tape. They don't. American records sometimes are copies of copies of copies, and you lose something with each generation. So there are a lot of things they do that just show why they're so successful. They're not known for innovation. What they are known is for perfecting an existing process.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because after World War II, there was an efficiency expert named Deming. And Mr. Deming went around to all the American manufacturers. If you do this, this, and this, and put quality programs in place, your productivity will go up, your profits will go up, yada, yada, yada. And they're like, we don't care who's going to compete against us because the world's destroyed.
Yeah.
Europe is gone, East Asia's gone. So it was America by itself. Well, by the time the 60s and 70s rolled along, those destroyed nations are rebuilt and they're making cars. And he went over to Japan, and the Japanese ate up Mr. Deming's productivity and efficiency classes. Guess who has the most reliable cars in the world now?
Japan.
So,
It's
like
fascinating.
I said, not known for innovation, but once they get a hold of something and they perfect it, man, are they good at it.
Oh, that's cool.
They're generally considered the best sounding Beatles records, but it is going to be the old mix.
Okay.
Even the fold down stereo, the fake process stereo, you'd have a guitar in one channel, drums in another channel kind of thing. So it wasn't true stereo, it was fold down stereo because they recorded in mono. And so they started and they put out all of the British releases, and they had the British flags on them.
Oh, okay.
And once they got through those, then they started with like the American releases and how they showed up with the covers there. Because, they were usually sort of short a couple of songs compared to the UK. And they had different covers in some cases with different running orders. And then you get higher into these. And like, well, that's still British, but for instance, that's one of the few Japanese ones.
Okay.
That's quite collectible because it's the Yesterday and Today sessions, but they called it Beatles number 5 over there, and it's in mono only, and it's the only Japanese one they had. So as far as collectability goes, that's probably one of the more collectible ones.
All right, so I'm not a Beatles guy. That was just past my time.
Yeah.
I got a couple Beatles records, and just people have given it to me.
All right.
What should I get? What do you recommend?
Again, it's what you're looking for.
Okay.
Are you looking to listen to it and just songs you enjoy, or do you want something that's rare and collectible?
A little bit of both.
Okay, that's rare and collectible.
All right.
Okay.
I'm snagging that one.
For me, that's a good entry point for a lot of people.
Okay.
Excuse me, I'll stop by the store and see you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah.
Have a good one, and good luck on the show tomorrow.
Yeah. Hope so too.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So anyway, a good entry point are these greatest hits packages.
Okay.
These came out in the mid-'70s, and the only reason they released them, the Beatles didn't want to do greatest hits. They liked the regular releases. But there was a bootlegger that was putting out a set called Alpha to Omega. It was going to be a 4 LP set with all the Beatles hits. And Capitol like flipped out and thought, oh my God. So they quickly put these together, the Red and Blue albums, and then advertised them on TV. Almost no records got advertised on TV unless it was K-Tel or something, you know. So that was kind of rare. But as a good entry point, this had all of the later material like 67 and up. Most of the hits that people remember. Because the early Red stuff, I mean, I was a kid when it came out, but my Aunt Melody was 15 and danced in front of her TV when I was 3 and did the twist while the Beatles were on Ed Sullivan. That's like one of my first TV memories. And my nephew said, well, what's so great about that? I said, there were only 3 channels. And half the country was watching that one show on one of 3 channels. Right. Now you got 300 channels, you know, Ewok TV, you know.
Ed Sullivan, that was CBS?
CBS. For many years. Okay. And it was just it was a big iconic thing, and a lot of the kids and teenagers that grew up with them watched them develop as they got older. You know? So they were out of college, and then the Beatles are getting married, and, you know, that kind of thing. So a lot of it, I think, was cultural and just the rarity of TV channels at the time. Everybody was watching the same thing.
Okay. Gosh, what else?
Now that's pretty good. Revolver was always my favorite one. This is the Giles Martin remix. Okay. So when the Beatles recorded, they recorded in mono. Mono's straight down the middle, no separation. So you'd hear the same thing either side, exactly the same, no stereo separation. Right. When they did them in stereo, George Martin would throw the tapes over to some flunky and go, make it into fold-down stereo or fold-back stereo. It was fake process stereo, where they put it through a machine, it did a few things and separated some channels. But the problem was you didn't get, like, guitar across both channels. You got guitar over here, you got bass over here, you got drums over here, you got a flugelhorn over there. It didn't sound right. Right. It was odd. And the same thing Hendrix recorded in mono, so when they did stereo, then it was the same thing. Cheap process stereo. He actually took Atmos program, which is Peter Jackson's program that he used in all the Lord of the Rings movies. And he was able to separate the individual instruments and then mix them together in true stereo where everything was balanced between the 2 speakers. So he did a really good job, but it sounds, if you heard the originals and you're used to that, it's like, wait a minute, it's all on the same channel. Nothing's, you know. Right. Before it was like, why is the guitar over here and the bass over there? But anyway, that was a great record. Oh, man. And you can see where pretty much Rubber Soul was when they first started smoking. And this was when they first started doing other things. And you can tell. One of my favorite songs on here is Tomorrow Never Knows. But also, She Said. Okay. John Lennon and George Harrison went to a party and they dropped acid. So the acid's kicking in as they go into this party. So they are tripping balls. And this lady, they sit down because like, oh, I'm feeling kind of weird, you know. I got to sit down a minute. So they sit down and John sits down to this woman he doesn't know. And she's apparently also trippy. And she looked at him and said, I know what it's like to be dead. And so he wrote this song, and the lyrics are like, she said, I know what it's like to be dead. And even though you know what you know, I know that it's time for me to leave. It freaked him out. Wow. He had to leave.
I don't know what.
That's an earlier album, and that's a German pressing on Odeon, which is kind of different.
What's Odeon?
Odeon was a Japanese label, but that's a German pressing on Odeon. So it was an import into Germany from Japan, probably.
I'm done digging for today. 2 hours. That's enough. Got some stuff. I don't know if I was recording when I made those purchases from each of the tables, but I feel good. I got some good stuff. I did learn that a lot of those folks are going to be in Atlanta tomorrow, which is where I'm going to be. So, also they don't really stock up inventory in between because they're just, you know, traveling from show to show. But I'm going to save some goodies for tomorrow, I hope. So, let's take a look. Got my Buc-ee's bag. Stuff in here. Oh, wow, let's see here. We got a stack of stuff. Alright. Gary Numan. Oh my gosh. I was looking for Gary Numan the last record show that I went to. So there's one. There's two. Three Gary Numans. Wow. Hanoi rocks. 11 Rockets. Listening to the New Wave XM station. Traveling up here this morning. They were on. That was fun. Oh wait, check this out. Gary Numan. I was talking to Jack. He's got a lot of Japanese imports, European imports. Talked to him for a good while. I think I got some of that on audio. I'll try to include that. Actually, by now you may have already heard it. What else we got? Oh, another table. Had a lot of live albums. Smashing Pumpkins, 1995. Red Hot Chili Peppers, 89. Queens of the Stone Age. And who else we got? Oh yeah, Mad Season. Also, the hand lotion. Applying hand lotion before, very good. Hands are not dry or hurty, so that's good. Hand lotion requirement.